sneak peek of the 2015 color trends from Benjamin Moore. Please welcome Sharon Grech. We've got Sophie Bergeron from Benjamin Moore in Montreal. And Yannick Simard.
Hey, good morning.
Come on in here, team. It's great to have you, Sophie. It's awesome to have you from La Belle Province. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is great. Actually, we've got two Frenchies today, don't we?
Well,
yes.
yeah. Well, one lives in Toronto, and you still live in Montreal.
Yes,
I do.
So it's nice to have that flavor, that wind coming our way.
Let's hope they
love
don't
it.
speak French or we're in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
Or at least I am.
I'm in so much trouble.
By the way,
Oh, no,
did you get
it's
this?
just- I love it. Well, listen, it is an exciting time of year for us, because this is the time when Benjamin Moore comes out with the 2015 color trends, and all of those decor divas out there, they watch the show, they want to be on point and ahead for next year and sort of know where the trend is going.
Exactly.
So why don't we reveal the board?
Very excited to show the 23 colors for 2015. Our color of the year this year is Guilford Green, which you're going to see more of throughout the show.
Okay.
But overall, we love how they're more saturated. The colors are a little more saturated. I think people are getting a little more comfortable with color. They step-toed in 2014,
Yes.
right, with the pastels.
That's
Yes.
true.
Much lighter.
Which was very
That's 2014.
pastel-y, yeah.
Very pastel-y. And
So
see
you can
that
see the difference
evolved.
there. That's right. It was very, very light. And now, as you
Yes,
mentioned, maybe we're
middle.
getting, ta-da, we're getting a little bit more comfortable with it and a little bit more daring, which is great.
Yeah, but they're still muted enough that they're livable colors. And I think
For
that's what's
sure.
really important with paint colors especially. You want them to be livable to allow all the beautiful accents that you have in your house to really shine.
And it's what you've paired them with too, what kind of furnishing, like the color of the fabric and what's surrounding it will have an impact on how the paint will read as well.
It's critical. I always say a
Yes.
painted wall isn't so exciting
Yes.
until you put furniture with it.
Until you, yeah, exactly.
I love paint, of course, but
Yes, it's the whole thing
It's
together
the
that
whole
makes the
ensemble.
difference. If you want strong contrast or a lot of drama,
Yes.
or if you want things to be very subtle and monochromatic, you know, you've got the option to do that. So we throw out a challenge to you three to actually take that color trends chart and do something with it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do whatever you want. So whether you used all the colors or some of the colors, let's start actually, Yannick, with or Sharon with yours. So you've got a message board.
I did a message board. So I used Caponata, which is a fantastic, deep, 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 rich color.
Yeah.
And I used that as chalkboard paint over a magnetic board. So I made a little
Cool.
inspiration board. You can chalk on it, you can use magnets, and I think Caponata is really nice and dark so that chalk is nice and crisp.
Yes, and so take note
Caponata.
of the fact that the chalkboard paint comes in all these different colors.
Comes in
which
any
is
color, all of these standard
totally
colors
new.
as well. So
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
that's
new, and
pretty
I thought that'd
cool.
be a fun
lovely.
project.
All right, now Yannick, you used like every single.
He did. I love it.
I wish I could
In the
take credit
trend
for
chart.
it. I wish I could take credit because that's a beautiful painting. But we commissioned a young artist here in Toronto, Katarina Payne, and we gave her the 23 colors that we were using for Benjamin Moore next year. And we're like, have fun, create something. And it turned out amazing.
That is so
amazing
cool.
that she hasn't named it, and she wants us to give it a name
wanna
because
call it
art
that?
is so subjective.
That's
Yes.
true.
She's very interesting to see what will come out of that. So
I think we
thought
should call it the Yannick. It's like
Yeah.
neat but disorganized, like crazy. But
Okay, you know me
sane.
too well. I'm gonna send you like this. This is not fair.
Everything that happens in your mind. It's the Yannick. I think it's nice that you went to a young up-and-coming artist. There's so much talent in this country. It's nice that you can
Yes.
profile them
Yes.
on a national show. So say her name one more time.
Katarina Payne.
Katarina
and she
Payne,
actually
lovely work.
worked on it until 4:40 this morning. You know, artists, it's never perfect.
Yeah.
So then we're like, okay, stop. It looks good. It's
good,
amazing. But it kind
sweetie.
of looks like a flash. And one of her producers, Fiona, thought it looked like a flower.
Yeah.
It's very funny how art is subjective and how colors, like you read colors differently too.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
The
burst.
layering.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sophie, you decided to do yours in a more subtle way. So it's a lovely side table, but there's an ombre going on the legs.
There's an ombre going on the legs. Actually, I found this stump of wood near my house.
Oh, cool.
As is, I only took the bark off because it was still the bark around it. I sanded it, and I went to a flea market. Are you laughing at me?
This is cool.
I'm having some flashback. That's how we do it in Quebec.
I love it.
Give us a tree, give us a stump, we'll make
And we'll
something
create
out
a
of it.
Yeah. To me, that is lovely because you go to anybody in Toronto, it's like, so I went to the store and I bought the
bought it.
stump. Whereas you go to your backyard and you chop down the stump.
So I went to the flea
love
market.
it.
I found some legs. $3. They're not even matching.
No, it's not the best
I just installed them underneath it. And look at the beautiful side table. I just painted it with silver fox and chantilly lace. I did an ombre on the legs, very subtle. You can put that in any decor.
I love the flavor there. Sophie, it is beautiful.
She thinks she speaks French.
It's a terrible accent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my husband. He's at home rolling his eyes.
I'm sorry. Like, no, Trace. No.
All right, Sharon and Sophie chose 12 of the trend colors to use in a house in La Belle Province. Take a look.
I am so excited to be in Montreal and to have collaborated again on a great project with my colleague Sophie.
Bienvenue à Montréal. Again this year we have worked on this fabulous house and we can't wait to show you.
Let's take a look.
The entrance is where the first impression begins. So of course you want it to be warm, cozy, practical, and in this case, colorful.
Absolutely. This is where we begin to tell our color story. And here we've got silver fox. We're going to see that throughout the house, and a beautiful hit of caponata to welcome you. We just love the open concept design of this townhome, and for harmony we wanted to bring that one color silver fox through as the main color. But with the streamlined modern design of the architecture, we wanted to mix things up with the furnishings and the decor.
And what a better way to mix things up than creating your own art wall.
Everybody needs one.
Everybody needs one, and it doesn't need to be complicated. No. Few paintings, kids drawing.
Absolutely.
It can even be a piece of fabric that you like that you're going to frame, and you just put it all together to express yourself.
Now the real focal point in this living room is the fireplace.
And you don't need to have a fire to create the cozy feeling. Now, I know Sharon doesn't believe me, but I found this great fireplace on Kijiji for $65.
No way. But you know what? I'm going to buy it from her and bring it home to Toronto. This is so perfect, and it's a little eclectic, which we like to mix things up. But we've got some great new furniture from Mobilia as well. The Chesterfield is perfect.
Never goes out of style.
Absolutely. And the rug, as well as the accessories. The rug is muted in our colors in that quilted material, and the glass so that you can see the beautiful carpet. And then we've got the vintage look of the club chair.
And it brings it all together.
Very nice. If people knew the amount of work that went into sort of unveiling your color trends, because you go around and you paint different spaces so that people can get a feel for how you can apply it in your own world.
In your own world.
This is a great way to do it in your living room. It's not overwhelming.
Exactly. And it's a great way to, I wanted to show Guildford Green in a kind of more modern and more contemporary space. So, and how natural and neutral it can be.
Yes.
So I think if you put it with white, it can kind of be nice and it can be strong in the highlight. But in this case, I put a lot of other colors with it, so it sets nicely in the background. So that's behind the beautiful graphic artwork.
Yeah, I love that artwork.
Is also from Mobilia. All the furniture is from Mobilia.
Gorgeous.
But I wanted to put a little bit more color. So another one of my favorite colors from there is Blue Danube, and it's got a little bit more of a teal for the blue. So I think we're seeing blues transition from the light pale to kind of moving into a bit more of the green and more saturated, as I was saying earlier.
Rich.
And I thought that was kind of a neat take on the old wainscot. You know, you don't need the chair rail, but just have a little bit of a stripe of color around the space, and then that really allows all of your furniture to really jump out in front of that.
Yes.
So that dark color is fantastic for that.
There's something very contemporary about that without the chair rail, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely more simple. So as far as all the other colors, I love the idea of the sectional. And it's white gray. It's got a lot of color. When you look at it close, it's got a little bit of a pattern as well. And I think it's really important to bring in a lot of textures, as one of the trends that we've been talking about for quite a long time is really incorporating texture, especially when you're doing a monochromatic palette, but even when you're bringing in a lot of other colors. So we've got that neutral in the sofa, but it's still a bit cool in the gray, and then the accents in the cushions, so that really pretty purple.
Is that leather?
Isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, that feels good.
And it's got a little hint of the teal in it. So again, you can see all of these colors as you start going and looking for your decorative, your accessories for your new, designs that you're doing for 2015. You'll start to see a lot of these colors. So to stay away from sort of your traditional grays and neutrals, even the lovely chair that you looked so lovely sitting in, Tracy.
This is a beautiful pale purple.
Exactly. It's very
This is
subtle.
gorgeous. It's very subtle.
So it works really nicely with gray. It can work with the green as a little bit of an accent. And it's funny because when I first saw it, I was afraid to put it with the green in case it looked too 80s. I'm always afraid of the Miami Vice look.
I know,
right?
too many pastels layered on top of each other, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's quiet enough, and then we've got a lot of color in the rug, but I love lots of color on the floor.
Right.
I think that's a great place to put color because it's not, you're not staring at it, it's not in your face. Same thing with the ceiling. I think that's another great place to put color. So I love this rug with the subtle stripes, and then you don't want to hide the rug, so these funky little tables that you can see what's going on underneath. I love the attempt to play like a little piece of wood. And our sound guy earlier was saying he would love to see a stump, so we'll go talk to Sophie and see if she can chop one for us in her backyard and put that in between so you get that contrast.
That is very cool, the wood grain on that, but it's so contemporary.
Exactly.
You get a mix of both.
So then again, you're popping in your colors with accents, little hits here and there, but the key with with a very colorful look is to keep things simple. Like, don't over accessorize, whereas when we look at more monochromatic schemes that Sophie and I did at the house in Montreal, we went a little more calm with color, so we were able to layer a lot more textures and little kachkas in the space.
Let the color do the talking for you, right?
Exactly.
And always, always nice to have a pop of florals.
Beautiful
There's something,
florals.
I mean, you balance it out. There's some repetition, and that's what makes it all work for the eye, but not a ton, because you've used so many different colors.
You have. And it would be easy to flow from this space into the rest of your home by just choosing one of these colors and bringing that in. Maybe you bring the blue Danube into the dining room. So the living room is where you spend the most amount of time, so that's where you want to have a lot of your inspiration, and then spread those colors out throughout the rest of your space.